Welcome to the Personio product update, the last one for 2022. My name is Lena, I'm a community manager, and today I'll be guiding you through the new feature updates of the last month of November. And together with my lovely colleague Laura, we try to answer all your questions to the discussed topics as well. You're welcome to write them in the Q&A chat. And yeah, Laura will pick a few, if possible, all of them, and ask them to me live, and we'll try to answer them in the session already. Before we start and having a look at the agenda, there is one announcement that we have to take for the English Personio product update. In the next year, it won't be possible for us to have this kind of webinar anymore due to a low participation rate in the last few months that we had this English webinar, unfortunately, and therefore we decided to stop this kind of format and evaluate this further down in the next year if we will start again, maybe with a different type of format, or however. We will ask your feedback probably too. But for now, you're welcome to inform yourself via the product newsletter, the product release notes, and the help center. They're like the most important and urgent topics. And at the moment, we also have the product updates area in the community. If you haven't seen it, please check it out. It's quite valuable because also smaller releases are there in a timeline, and you can look through, and if you want to have more details, and you're linked to the regarding help center articles. So it's quite cool actually. We still have this, so it might also be used. Okay, then let's start into the agenda for today, because we have quite a few topics to cover. We have one HRM topic. It's the continuous feedback in the performance and development package. In the integration side, we have Zapier and Zapier update. Some of you might realize that Kununu is not on the agenda anymore. I'm sorry, we had to move that into the next month because it won't be released on time, and therefore we'll give you an update via the newsletter or in the community then. And then we have three different integrations: BDG1 and E2 Mod and Studytube that you could use. And in recruiting, we also have two, but small but fine updates on the today's interview section. And also regarding the calendar integration, there is one wished functionality realized now. And last but not least, we have three FAQs that we have took into the webinar because there are frequently asked questions at the end of the year. Especially the last one is relevant for this year. And the first question is setting up the Christmas holidays, or if you have company holidays and your company calendar, and in the employee profiles, I'll show you two options. And then also I summarize what to consider with the change of carryover limits, and I elaborated a bit, show you how you can use it. And last but not least, the export of feedback that is in the employee profile at the moment can be exported via the company export, and I'll show you exactly how to do that, and what kind of format data you get and how to get what you need. Because the performance tab in the employee profile is being deprecated, as you have received communication since April, and therefore some of you who have not the extended package booked might need to export it. All right, then let's get started with the first topic: continuous feedback. So previously, it was only possible to provide feedback for someone where you had the access rights on the colleague's profile and the performance tab. And now with this new feature, it is thought that every employee can give feedback for every other employee, and that you can have a modern feedback culture within the company, and live this feedback culture also. And also one other point is that the feedback from the performance tab should all be put in and pushed into the feedback and performance folder on the left-hand side on the bar, that every performance information is in one spot and not in two anymore. This is just like was in this year due to the slow move of the different functionalities, and it further will be expanded in the performance and development area. And there will like obviously also more features to come in the next year. All right, let's have a look at the functionality, how it looks in the account, that you get an overview. So we get to this overview when we click on performance development and feedback. Then we land on this page. There we can see that this is me. I'm on my performance and development feedback folder now. And I can see my direct reports. They are listed directly under me. And if I'm an admin, I could see like everyone. If I'm like only a supervisor, then I can see the indirect reports too. I can see the feedbacks that have been done, for example, for Max, who is underneath Christian. And I can see like the feedback that I've given here, or also that someone else has given, and see that it's also been sent proactively. And also when, and like you get the short information, you can also click on it to see the details. And that's basically it, how you can like have a look at others' feedbacks that are in the line underneath you in the org chart. So it's always possible for managers to see their direct and indirect reports feedbacks. And then here on this overview on the right side, you can see the to-dos where you actually need to do something, where you need to get active, because it has been requested from a cycle, for example, a performance cycle. Or if you have started, for example, a continuous feedback, like here. In this case, I have started something to write for Sina. I can also like edit it now. I can tell if I want to share it with Sina's supervisor or not. And I could like delete the draft. I could save it for later, send the feedback right now. And that's how you can process it and how it looks like. It's just this basic field. And therefore, I'd recommend, for example, that you have like training how to give feedback within the company. I can just recommend that it's like useful to give a few tips to the employees so that they know how to write feedback short and crispy, and that it's to the point, and then you can use that like easily. Yes, then one thing is about you, the feedback that has been done for me, either a self-review or a continuous feedback from someone else. Is also in here. I can have a look at this too. And also about others is that the feedback that I have given and already sent to others. For example, if I have a feedback review coming up and I have sent some feedback in the past, then I can see here, okay, who did I give feedback in the past, and see, okay, what did I write to further continue with those observations that I've done in the past. And now, most importantly, how do I proactively give feedback? It's via the right button here on the top right corner, and give feedback. Here you can choose any person in the company that you have access to, and like write, for example, here we do Max and say continue, and then we write tests and then share with Max supervisor. We had him earlier, it's Christian. So then Christian also gets access to it. Yes, that's when we send it off. Then I see one more feedback is sent for Max and is appearing on my list. All right. That's it regarding the continuous feedback. Laura, do we have any questions in the chat?
Yes, we do have two questions. The first is, it's great that anyone can now give feedback. Is it also possible to ask for feedback?
Mm-hmm. At the moment, I'm not at the moment it's not possible. I'm not sure if they have it on a product roadmap. I'm happy to find that out and put that in a recap post.
Okay, and the second question is there plans to include the form templates in this new feedback functionality? Christine says, we have used form templates for users to select the type of feedback depending on the conversation, for example, mid-end probation review.
I think that is that is something that will be included in a different type of feedback. as far as I understand, the continuous feedback is really thought as like just one field that you can write down in your own structure. For example, the formulas there, like the forms there for feedback cycles, or if you have like something situation with a like performance review in like the probation period, that would be another use case. So I believe that our product team will further develop some different type of feedbacks there on that side. But I don't have a concrete roadmap. That's just my expectation, because like how it is also handled in other tools. I just know that one field, like one completely free continuous feedback form is there to like use it freely and without any form settings or anything.
Thank you, that's it.
Cool. Then let's have a look at the next topic. It's about the integrations. The first integration is Zapier. I really like this integration, and you can use it with several tools. It's also worth checking out which other tools you can connect with Zapier. There are different Zaps now possible. That's how it's called, Zaps. And different types of data are now able to be transferred. For example, it's now possible to transfer documents with DocuSign, for example. I'm not sure if you know DocuSign. DocuSign is a software where you can sign different documents. It has different workflows and like opportunities. And with the signed documents, they're called envelopes. They can be linked to an employee profile and be sent to Personio automatically. So you can set up a workflow there that as long as something is signed in DocuSign, then it is pushed into the employee's profile. Something like this is now possible via Zapier with this specific Zap. So if you have different tools and landscapes, it's worth pinging your IT and like tell them, please, could you check what Zaps there are newly available with Zapier and Personio to check out if you can like further build any workflows within your company and make your life easier. Then the three integrations are BDG1. It's an application for workforce planning and analysis. It combines and connects the Personio data and systems with other sources and systems that are there for your planning in your organization. And yeah, they integrate all the different data so that you can make the best decisions on your workforce planning for the next year. Then E2Mod, I hope I pronounced it correctly, is synchronizing information between Personio and on-premises Active Directories. For example, Azure Active Directory and Microsoft Exchange environments. It connects, can be managed quickly and conveniently there because it has a multi-domain, multi-tenant infrastructure that it's supporting. So it's actually also maybe worth checking out if you are working with Azure AD or in the Exchange environment. Maybe ask your IT there too if this is something for them. Then Studytube offers an all-in-one learning platform and offers different learning services. They can inspire your employees that they create a plan for their future. I think that's like where everyone is interested in, and you can create own trainings within the platform, but you can also use and choose selected trainings that are already existing in a catalog there and offer those to your employees. Yes, that's it to the integrations. Laura, are there any questions?
No, there are no open questions. Thank you.
Okay, thanks. Then we continue with recruiting. In recruiting, I first have a small, tiny update, but it might be another reason for the calendar integration. Now in the home area, it's possible to like immediately click with one click into the video. When you have an interview call scheduled and you have the calendar integration, then you can do it via Zoom, via Microsoft Teams, via Google Meets. And when you are on your homepage and home area, then you can just click join video call, and then the corresponding tool opens up and you're in the meeting. So it's quite convenient, actually. Made it easier. I think that was also a wish functionality in the community. So really cool to see that in reality now. And then I also want to give a second nice and small update regarding recruiting and the handling in recruiting. It's also regarding the calendar integration. There is a little update that you can now deactivate the visibility, as you can see here in the screenshot. The visibility of meetings. Earlier, it was possible to hide like the meeting titles, everything in the calendar, so that colleagues could not see what kind of appointment someone has in their calendar, in their company calendar. But when recruiters, for example, in the recruiting section in Personio were scheduling interviews, the title was still visible. Like there, it was not possible to switch it off. And therefore, there was a feature flag being developed. And with this one, it's not possible to shut this out. Please don't be surprised in your account on a standard, it's not there yet. If you want to have this feature flag, please contact our support team via Find Answers in your Personio account. So the account owner and responsible, they can contact the support and they have to request that. Please first consider if you really want to have it, because it's not possible to switch it on for one role and switch it off for another role. Either it's everyone in recruiting who is scheduling interviews can see the type of absence that is entered in the calendar, or nobody can see it. They can just see the blockers that someone is busy. So I think it's worth checking out what the pros and cons are. That's it. I will show this quickly to you in the account, how it exactly looks. I have opened a profile already. Here I have opened Larissa's profile, and when I schedule an interview now with someone that has the calendar integration active, there's Ronald here, and then I click on find a slot in the calendar, then it really shows like here it's busy. Then I click on the next week, everything is just busy, where you could also see a title. That's it, basically. It's a big and good step, because I also know that this was wished from many community members. So I'm very happy to also see this functionality live. But please, if you want to have it, check out first in your team and then contact our support that they can activate this feature flag for you. All right. Laura, are there any questions to the recruiting topics?
No open questions.
No open questions. Don't be shy. You're welcome to ask anything, anytime. With that, we're coming to the last part. It's a bit different because so far the features were all newly released. And now the FAQs, they're functionalities that are already in the product for a while, but they're important like the change of year, and particularly the last one is very important for this year. So let's have a look at the different settings. First of all, it's about the holidays. How are they being set up during the Christmas time? How do you do it? So basically you have two options. The first one is the one that you can see on the screenshot already, is via the company holiday calendar. So you can set up holidays, for example, the 21st or the 31st or 24th or 21st, etc. And type them in as a public holiday. This year they are on a Saturday, also the 25th is on a Sunday. So unfortunately that probably won't be that much of a use case. If you have one day, for example, that you give extra that everyone gets and that should not be deducted from the holiday leaves, then I would recommend to do this via the public holiday calendar. I quickly also show you in the account. When we go on settings, then public holidays, then you can here, for example, Ireland public holidays, for example. Then you can simply duplicate this. Yes, then you can edit it. And then you can say, a Christmas special that, for example, you want to have just this one year because like so many holidays, for example, were falling on the weekends, then you could say, okay, we want to have one with a fixed date, and that is a special day, a special self-care day. And then you say, okay, the employees should take the 23rd off already. You want to close the company there and like nobody has to work, then you can add that to the company calendar. Please don't forget to submit this calendar to your office location. That has to be done because that's where it's stored. And then please double check in the employee list that every employee who should is also or has the right office in their employee profile. So that's an indirect assignment here, that the calendar is assigned to the office and the office again is assigned to the employee. Yes, that's one option. The second option is to upload, for example, special leave or like a company holidays. Or, for example, if you want to deduct it from the holidays, then I would recommend to work with an import. For example, I have prepared here an import for Jenna and imported her absences. I quickly go and switch that. Here, the absences of this type is, I'm wondering why this is in German. I'll quickly reload the page. Sorry. Yes, here it's 4 days, and that is the company holidays underneath. It also says 4 days. I can also quickly show you how this company or the company holidays are set up in the settings, because I don't have an accrual policy for it because I just want to import the 4 days between the 2 years, and that's it. So we go under settings absence, and then I go on company holidays. And then here I have set it up that, for example, there is no accrual policy, and also consider time track during absences. I say yes, because it should reduce the target hours in the attendances, and it's a real absence, so I'll reduce it and it's being paid for. So I set it up like this. All right. That is the first tip. That is how you can set up the Christmas holidays however you want to and need to. You could also obviously configure and upload it with paid vacation, and it's being deducted from the paid vacation accrual policy that every employee has. Just for you to know if you have that, then hopefully also in the contract somehow, and then hopefully it's also done already and not on such a short notice. All right, Laura, are there any questions to this topic?
Yes, we just received one question. Can we update or change the vacation policy once activated and assigned?
So basically, here I have vacation policies, and you can just create a new one. But when you create a new one, you can only assign it to the next accrual policy, like when it's starting, and also to the last one. So, for example, when the accrual is built on the 1st of January, I can say now when I start a new accrual policy, okay, from next year on, you get, here we have like 24 days. So from next year on, you get 30 days. And then you can put in here a new accrual policy with 30 days and assign it from the next accrual. That's possible.
Great. We have another question. Can employees be assigned to several holiday calendars? For example, in Serbia, each religion can have one special holiday, which differs for each person.
Okay, this is a very special use case. At the moment, it's not possible. You would need to really create different offices because you have the different holidays, or you find a different solution that, for example, you have like that's just like a workaround that just came to mind, is that you have an absence contingent, and then you can say, okay, to make it fair, everyone can there are 3 holidays and everyone can use them on the religion that they are in on those days. And then you have it built in your tool, and like everyone has this accrual policy of 3 days, for example, and can take those holidays on those days only. That would be something that you have to like say on a like verbal agreement, that it's only been taken in this on these days. But yeah, that would be something that you can like build in a bit more easy without having to create different offices.
Thank you. That's it at the moment.
Okay, cool. Thanks. Great questions also. Thank you. Okay, then let's have a look at the second tip. It's about considering what to change or what needs to be changed when you are doing changes to the vacation carryover limit. Very important question. Please, disclaimer, please do not make any changes to the existing accrual carryover just because you can edit it. It has historical, it has an effect on the history. So this means if you would change something here, then also the previous year is changed and then the current balance changes. So please do not do this. If you have a carryover change, please first think that's the first task. Is it just this year, or do we want to have it on a continued basis? So is it permanent? Then when it's the first case that it's only for 1 year, then you would need to do 2 absence balance imports. One is on the 31st of December, so that you define the carryover, that it's also been like written out as carryover on the 1st of January on. And then you also, the second import would need to be done after the, when the carryover limit is reached, the new one, then you import the new balance of the vacation, like the new vacation balance, basically. Please keep in mind when you do an absence balance import that everything before this import is being overwritten. So basically, it is only possible to do it on the 31st December itself or afterwards. For example, if you have the 31st off yourself, please don't worry. You can just do it in the first week of January, for example, then it's still early in the year. Maybe inform your employees that you will update this, not that they are surprised, but it's not possible to do it for the future, to set it to a certain date, because it might be that they take a day off until then. And so therefore you can't set it yet because you do not have the data yet. Okay, then if you have the second case, if you have a permanent change, then it would be good to add a new absence type of paid vacation, that the new absence type is getting the new accrual policy and also like the contingents, everything. And then you definitely have to do a 1 import, I guess, unless you do not have a carryover anymore at all. Then obviously you can start with 0 and just by assigning an accrual policy, just as I have explained it, then you can start to the next accrual. That's basically it to consider. There is a very, very good help center article. Laura is pushing it into the chat. You can, if you plan to do something like this, please click on it, bookmark it, and do it closely as explained in there. Just very important, really think about it if you want to do it once off or on a permanent basis, how to continue. And then please read through the whole article and then like go through it step by step, because I think everyone is watching on their paid vacation, and don't want to have something escalating there. Therefore, it is good to have it in place then for the new year. Okay, Laura, are there any questions? I see there is number 2 up here.
Yeah, there are 2 open questions. So the first question is the absence entitlement for 2023, which will be from January 1st or earlier on? Employees would like to schedule their vacations for January already, for example.
Yeah, basically they they can schedule their vacation. It might be that it's like into minus, but I'm not sure if the person is starting with Personio and they don't have an accrual policy at all, then they can't like even see the absence type. So what they need in order to schedule their vacation is an assigned accrual policy. And sorry, one thing to add, if they have assigned the accrual policy already, but it's not appearing now because it's assigned to January, I think they should still be able to ask or like to sign up for their holiday, and it will be shown right from the 1st of January on.
Yeah, Kirsten just added, yes, they have an accrual policy.
Okay, perfect. Good, Kirsten.
All right. And our second question would be, can we prepare the types of holidays upfront for next years? For example, creating a new absence type, or does the accrual policy stay the same for each year?
So you can create the absence types already, and the accrual policies, if you do not change them, that's why it's an accrual policy. Then we can quickly check. We can just here, we can just build one quickly. Here I can enable them, carry over. Oh, sorry. Enable, yes. Limited carry over. Let's say the 31st. Yes. And then we built oh, sorry. So, okay. Then we, for example, set something, test, number of days granted 30, grant entitlement, year. And then we say beginning of the month, waiting time, no. So here you say 30 years are granted per year. And then you decide here, quickly just click something that you can see. And this accrual policy, you can assign now to employees. For example, the first accrual policy is always assigned from the start. If you do not want that they get the first accrual from the start, then you would have to, or like they don't get the 30 days from the start, then you would have to insert a 0 days accrual policy. And then, for example, you can say, okay, the 30 or the 32 days, they get from the next accrual period on when you assign the accrual policy. For example, we have Jana here, and I'll quickly update this. And now we have managed policy, and here you can assign here from the hire date, from the start of the current period and the next period. If you have something set up and there was another accrual policy in the past, then you can just say next entitlement period, and then you could assign the newly created accrual policy here from the next entitlement period. And this is also here, because it's the first one, it's showing here, but at this date. But for example, if she had one in the past, then this would be the 1st of 2023, because it's on a yearly basis. I hope that answered the question.
Okay, one last question. Is it possible to run a report where we can easily see the end dates of the different absence types and the hours, days that are left?
Okay, sorry, could you please repeat this?
Yeah, absolutely. Is it possible to have a report where we can easily see the end dates of the different absence types and hours, days that are left?
So basically there is a custom report where you can see how many days there is rest. Like there is really an attribute that you can add to the custom report. I believe it's in the type of custom report with the time frame, I believe. Otherwise, you can always do a point in time custom report and ask for the accrual, like what the balance is, and the balance is up to date until that day. That would also be an option. I hope that answers the question too.
Okay, so there are no open questions. Thank you.
All right. Great. Then let's continue with the last topic for today. Yeah, it's about the performance tab and the export of feedback from the employee profile. I quickly explain it to you also on the example of Jenna. And first and foremost, before we start, if you do have any questions regarding your package, please contact your growth manager. I'm not a professional in this area. I am happy to explain it to you on the product side, how you can get all the details out of your account. If you have the performance and development package, it's fine. The data, like you will have the data in your account still. If you do not have the performance and development package, but have used the feedbacks in the employee profiles, then I'd recommend to pay attention now that you know like roughly what you have to do. And also, of course, you can rewatch it as video. We have a recording and we'll share it in the community. First of all, before I start, I quickly have a question. How experienced are you with the company data export, just for me to know how deeply I should go into it. It would be great if you could fill out the poll that is appearing, just for me to know how deep I should explain it to you. Okay, the first ones are coming in. I'll leave you 3 more seconds. 3, 2, 1. Please vote. All right, then, okay, I quickly share the results. Okay, I'm not sure. Laura, if you have shared the results, that is fine. Yeah, so 45% do it on a regular basis, super cool. 25 have done it rarely, 30% haven't done it yet. How confident do you feel about the topic? 20% I have not yet dealt with it at all, and 40% feel confident, and 40% also do not feel confident. But yeah, that's great. In the morning when we had the German webinar, actually the numbers were much lower. So I'm, yeah, congrats first of all to you that you have dealt with it already and that you know already a bit about it. But I will find a middle way, I guess that's the best option. Okay, all right. In the profile of Jenna, I quickly jump into the performance tab again. So one option that the employees have, they will also here now they have done it today in the morning. They haven't had the banner yet. The employees also will see this banner that the package data won't be in there and this tab will be deprecated. So first of all, here when they click on feedback, they can export it in their employee profile or via PDF. They can click on export and do this, and then when they export it to the document section, it's saved under documents performance. There's a special category where all the feedbacks are being stored, and they also look like this as PDF. They're stored as PDF. The files that are added as documents here, they are also automatically already in the document section. What cannot be transferred to the document section is this comments and the notes here. I can see them as, yeah, this is feedback from myself. Obviously, Jenna cannot see that, but still just to show you and that you're aware, these comments can only be exported via the company export that I'm going to show you quickly. Yeah, here in the URL, you'll find always the employee ID that is crucial for the company export to find out. So I copy that quickly and then show you where you can get or do the company export. When we go on settings again, then under company, the contract and account owner, they are able to create a data export. This is valid for like 7 days, and only on the 8th day you're able to pull another company export. And here you have all the database export information, and that means like everything that goes into Personio, like all the information that are written in Personio, also the performance information, of course. Then there is a second, second download option. It's the document export. That are all the documents that are in Personio uploaded in employee profiles. So you can download that, and then you get one file, and then per employee, you do get the different documents. Well, if we have downloaded this, it might also be that they're not ready at the same time because they're being prepared and created in 2 different sources. So it might be that one is appearing a bit early and the other one. But later you will get an email as soon as both are ready. So when we have a look at the export, I quickly, close this. When we have a look at the export, then you get these 2 zip data files. And when you unpack them, I can unpack them via clicking on them. Then it's looking up like this. Here we have the different folders and files. I will also insert the right path here in the recap post. We need to go under microservices production, then under employee performance service, and then under public performance meetings, and then or performance feedbacks. Performance feedback, that's where like the feedback files are that we wanted. And then we open a file. Here, this is one file that we have. And here you can see that in the column D, there is the employee ID that the feedback is about. And in column G, there is the provider of the feedback. So the person who has given and written the feedback. In column E, these 3 are the relevant ones for us. In column E, you'll find the content that has been written. Due to the different questions that have been in the folder, it's a bit codey, but I quickly show you how you can find the information that you need. Okay, I go on find, and then I insert the number. I look for it, and then I find all the feedbacks that have been done to this person. Here you can see this in the middle. Here it's also like jumping to the provider because this person might have also given someone else feedback. I have given or prepared a feedback to show you on the 24th of November. And when I can see the creation date, who has done it. And here in column I see the text. I copy that because like this, the format is like a bit confusing. And when I copy in the text, then I can see what that text has been written. Here it's the whole note. When there like special signs are not being translated, that is because of Excel. For example, numbers can translate it immediately, but there is also a solution to find a solution in Excel. Yes, that's how it's looking. When you want to match the data, there is also an employees file. It's really just called employees CSV. I can show you here on the left-hand side in the export. That's the right file. And if you have it, then you have in column A, the ID of the employees, for example, also Jenna Sidwell's ID is also in there. And then you have here the email addresses, first name, last name. You also have, for example, the position. If you need that for something to match with VLOOKUP, you can match the information of the employees and the feedback form so that you have everything that you need to further work with the data, to import it in another tool. If you have something, for example, if the other tool is working with the email address, you could also match that via the ID. Yes, that's how it is looking. I quickly also want to show you that is where the performance meetings, for example, are laying. It's also under the microservices production folder. Here, when I click on the column A, I wanted to show you how you can make it in a nice format that you have different columns. Then you go under, we have to remove this, under data, text to columns, you go on delimited, and then you separate via comma, general, finish, and then you have the different columns. Again, here the employee ID that the feedback meeting is with, the dates, and also the description correctly when it was created, etc. So like several information in here too. And the last information that is also in the employee profile tab is the performance notes and comments. There, when we go on the company export again, it's under performance and comments. It's here. There you will find all the notes being saved. This is basically all the information that you need to pull. I would also recommend to pull these information in the next few months, because otherwise, like, we know it all, we just forget about it. So basically that's it, how you get all the information out of the company export, how you find everything, how you match it with the IDs, because everything is saved with IDs. I hope that has helped a bit, and I'm looking forward to your feedback, if this brought more light into your or more knowledge for you and is relevant for you. And yeah, with that, I'm handing over also to Laura and for any open questions. I know it's tough, but there is a recording.
We have one open question. Beside the general feedback forms, which are visible for the employees and the managers, can we create new forms which will be visible only for a specific group of people, for example, under specific access role?
At the moment, I'm not aware of such a functionality, but this might also be something for the future.
That's it. Okay.
All right, then thanks so much for your questions, for your participation. I wish you all a very lucky and happy holidays. It's the first time that we can celebrate with friends and family again. I wish you a very special time. Have a good start into the next year, and yeah, maybe we see each other in the community again. Bye-bye. Have a good holiday season. See you.